Well, I'm not in a ranting mood.
He's not in a talking mood. But
Amy, I don't know what happened today, but mark today's date in the calendar. Today is July 31st.
Yes, the
2019. Something happened today. Find out in your calendar what happened that prevented the rant. One day it will save the world.
It'll save the world. How about today? How are you?
Are you in a ranty mood today, Josh? So those two voices that you're hearing are Aaron and Josh. Aaron, as always, to my left, where he thinks he has a seating arrangement, safe seating. Yep. Josh is to my right as well. Josh, are you looking through your bills again this week?
No. Nope.
Okay, good. So you might actually join in the conversation. Unfortunately, was supposed to be here, and I was hoping she would have been here to keep him on track from looking at his bills all day. Yeah. But it's me, Josh, and Aaron again at Use Your Words podcast, and it's going to be introspective, reflective conversation.
Hot diggity dang. What?
There is no Aaron's Word of the Week. In honor of friendship this week, there is no Aaron Word of the Week. That just means next time we'll have to have a doubleheader.
I'm going to be absent for that.
Yeah, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that for you. If we miss one, we miss one, and life is not going to go on. We're not going to.
Life is not going to go on.
Life is going to go on.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. I like life.
I love how we're both mis-talking today, and
it's going to be a great one.
Josh, just jump in with the rant with your mis-talking.
No.
Life will be good.
No rants. We only have an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
It takes him an hour to rant, so.
I just won't speak.
No. You're a part of this friend group, and guess what we're talking about today, Josh? We're talking about friendship. So you have to talk because you're part of the friend group. We're not friends.
Josh. Yeah, so this episode I titled, or tentatively titled, Notes from the Field on Friendship.
Notes from the field.
Well, okay, so maybe this it makes more sense to me because like when I go to like conferences and that, if someone's doing something, they'll say notes from the field on implementing X, notes from the field on doing X, you know. So it's more of not a theoretical conversation. It's more of a practical conversation of this is how they do whatever they were doing, you know, tech-wise. Same thing here. It's not a theoretical, to be a friend, you should do that. It's what's the nitty-gritty of the things that we've done, either good, bad, or maybe ranty. You know, I say that word with trepidation as I look over.
Wow, you should use that as a word of the week. I don't know what the heck that means.
Let me ask this question to both of you.
Uh-oh.
We screwed.
No. You're not screwed.
Yet.
What, in your opinion, is the most aggravating thing about having to be, I guess I would say, interacting with people, being friends with people? We're not even going to start off on the positives. We're going to start off on the negatives because why not?
The most
aggravating thing about people.
What is wrong with this thing? About people?
Yeah.
Or
about people, and then obviously through extension of that being friends with said people.
Man.
And feel free to use personal anecdotes of like what me and Josh do that may frustrate you.
I don't know.
Okay, let's make this more concrete for you. Okay, what's something that either myself or Josh do that's aggravating?
I'm so sorry, Josh.
And this is going to be one of those conversations where we got to remember not to be butthurt with each other because there might be some words said.
There's going to be butthurtness going around.
Choose your next words wisely.
So, Josh, I'll start with you.
Fair enough.
He doesn't want to sing the end of the night. All right, go ahead. I was going to wait till nighttime to do it, but go ahead, do it now.
You're the safe one.
I'm the safe one.
Anyways.
Well, but I guess we already, I don't know. Man, the aggravating thing, I guess, for me, which we talked about last week when we talked about patience, but it was the whole on time thing. That and planning stuff. As he gives me the dirty look.
Planning stuff?
Yes, planning stuff. Well, okay, now I'm going to think of another thing.
Uh-oh.
I'd like you to explain the planning side of things.
You just.
Oh, can I jump in?
I'll explain my confusion once I hear Paul.
Yeah, the planning thing. Let's see here.
I unleashed something.
Paul.
Yeah, so
let's not grill me to the point where the microphones start to melt here.
we're not grilling you, Josh.
No.
We're not grilling you. This isn't a
sizzling.
No, this isn't a sizzle either. This is okay. Let me put. I'm going to preface it this way.
I'm going to boil Johnson in a second here.
Okay, I'm going to preface it all this way here. These about the scheduling thing and other things, okay, might annoy me, but it's not annoying typically to the point of where I go, that kid is an idiot. Okay, it takes would be very extreme. It's just one of those, like, I don't know, you have a little cut and you get a little salt and just annoying. You know, it's not bad. Okay. It's not bad. So there's no boiling, roasting, grilling, whatever. Sizzling. Yeah. Who says sizzling? So scheduling thing, calendar usage to know what's coming up. And then when things are booked and scheduled already 2 days beforehand, so I forgot about this thing that I'm going to. And, yeah, we need to reschedule everything else around this. Scheduling. Again, it's not the worst thing in the world. There are days when I just want to be like, that kid needs to learn how to use a calendar, which
I do. I just don't put notifications.
I have from Amy that's also a thing that she's like, he needs to learn to use a calendar. But that's also a thing I think also as you grow older, you'll learn better. Because that's one of the things that when you get into the workforce is going to be, and I'm talking not to downgrade what you're doing right now. Okay? Okay. But I'm talking like when you're in your career that you want to be in for your life, that sort of stuff is vital, that you are able to schedule and plan out and be on time with those things and know in advance. Just because you can have 5 million things flying around at once that you need to get done. And you need to know, hey, this is it. Like I said, that's something that you'll learn with time. That's something, when I was your age, I sucked at as well. So like I said, this isn't a grill or anything. This isn't a roast. This is an outside observation. Just I sucked at it too at your age.
I'm starting to like calendars a lot more recently.
And here's this interesting thing that I'm seeing. Aaron seems like, to your credit, Josh, a couple years ago, guess what? Aaron's the same way. Yeah, exactly. So there's nothing wrong with that. People grow and learn. And that's not a quote unquote defect that's going to cause you issues. That's just something to learn.
I'm just a late bloomer. That's what I was told.
All you millennials are. Anyways, so that was my scheduling. Anything else, Mr. Johnson? Either myself or Brewer. And
I'm still going with Brewer.
Oh boy.
I thought it was funny for when we during the wedding or whatever, how when we were taking care of things, but it's like you always had something next on your mind, like thinking like in advance, which is good. But I was like, I just wanted to enjoy the wedding. It's like all that stuff will get figured out eventually.
Stuff.
Huh?
Well, what are you talking about?
Well, you're just talking about how like, we should do this. So, we should do, I don't know, whatever it was, this thing to make it easier for these people. And then like just kept coming up with more and more and more things that we should be doing or could do to make it even, I guess, somewhat nicer of a thing. I don't know. I wish I could remember everything you said, but I was watching the wedding too much.
Fair enough.
Because like you're only going to see that one time. But
Yeah, it's true.
Unless I get divorced.
which I hope not.
And no one ever wishes on someone, but let's also be realistic here looking at statistics.
Oh, well,
You know,
they won't be a part of the statistics.
and hopefully not.
No.
Hopefully not.
Well, yeah, definitely. Hopefully not,
But you never know. And unfortunately, that's kind of. I hope to see those statistics improve over time
right.
about divorce.
See, that's why I'm just not going to get married. I don't want to be a chance to hurt statistics. Just kidding. That's not true.
Okay.
But no, I don't know. But like I said, that can also be a really good thing, though, to always be thinking out. I'm like, we did our job, did good. And I was just like, let's not worry about anything.
Which, as an outsider looking in,
Yeah.
is really, it's like, don't use a calendar, don't plan, but yet planning ahead and thinking ahead on all these things. And I get it. I get it. It's
Which, I mean, you just
because you're not planning long term. You're planning these short term things on what you could do, and that's fine. And so,
heck yeah.
On the outside looking in, at first it looks weird, but then when you break it down, look at it, long term versus short term, there is a difference.
Right.
So just because you're bad, that sounds horrible. Just because you're bad, just because you're not as good at one or the other doesn't mean you're going to necessarily be like that with the other one as well.
No. Yeah.
So,
gosh, now I'm trying to think for Paul. Oh boy.
shoot away.
Oh boy.
Shoot away.
Careful, Aaron.
No, I gave him full permission to shoot away.
See, this is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
As I say, this is one of those conversations where there will be no repercussions from me.
Oh, so just now, so we can't talk off air. We can't be honest with each other off air.
But no, and there'll be no like Johnson said this on the recording.
I can't believe you said that.
It's like, okay, cool. I'd rather he tell me to my face than
behind my back.
Exactly.
Be a traitor. All right, Paul. Oh boy. All right, here we go.
Go for it. Would it help if I turn my
Cold
back?
pizza.
Cold pizza? Are you serious? You're gonna go for
Cold
something
drinks. I don't do hot drinks. I like my pizza cold. I don't like it hot.
You're going for something as superficial as that?
I'm just using it as a fun example.
And yes, I do not do hot drinks.
Oh, but they're so good though. Like on a winter's day, nice hot drink. It's
Nice ice cold drink.
No, you want to warm up, not get colder in the winter.
No, I just put on my heated hoodie and coat.
See, why do you like heated jackets, but you don't like heated food?
You want to know why?
No, I no.
I can tell you why I hate hot drinks.
Wait, is there like an actual like?
There is an actual reason.
What is the reason then?
So,
what happened to you as a child, Paul?
I was it was 5th grade visiting Washington D.C. with a school trip. Bit into Hardee's chicken, and a big blistering boil of boiling grease filled my mouth.
Oh,
Yeah,
that burns.
yeah.
That's just nasty.
That burns.
So that's how fresh it was, and it kind of, scalded all the inside of my mouth. And ever since then, I was like, even though yes, it was grease, and that's not a drink you would like drink. But still,
I
like
drink
hot liquid
drinks.
just in my mouth is like, nope, done.
Traumatized.
So that's my
fifth
reason.
grade. All right.
Or as you say, triggered. So that's my reason right there.
Okay, I guess I can give that to you then. That's like me. Wait, what? But it never happened to me though. I don't know. Skydiving freaks me out. That's something I don't think I could ever do. But besides not liking hot drinks and hot pizza,
Okay.
as opposed to cold pizza,
I just prefer cold pizza over hot pizza. I will eat hot pizza. Just
yeah.
I'm not a freak. Anyways, go for it. Go for the critical hit.
Man,
Go for it.
the critical hit. Oh boy. Ooh. Well, one. See, I hate saying this because it's like at the same time I'm not that smart, anyways. But it's like no matter if there's like anything I can say about I don't know whether it be a topic or I don't know something, you're always right there with something else. And I'm just like, why can't it just be simple? No, it can't be simple because Paul knows something else that I don't know, and then it has to complicate my mind. Shoot, and I had another one, but now it's leaving. It left me. Oh, well, I guess would you say you'd consider yourself a realist? I don't know.
Realist and pessimist, kind of.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I'm a realist, but I admit freely I dabble in the pessimism. So
Yeah. It makes me sad because I like to be.
You like to be an optimist?
I like to be optimistic, but then and that's weird about me. Is because like in some cases I'll like to be optimistic more than pessimistic,
And that is a good way to look at things, honestly.
But yeah, so it's like whenever I'm optimistic about something, then we have pessimistic, and I'm like, no, stop ruining this optimistic side of me. But then because it's like whenever I think about myself, I'm very pessimistic, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. But no, yeah, I whenever it's something that doesn't involve me and I can be optimistic about it, yeah, no, not anymore.
Yeah, I guess it's just one of those things where, I've been burned so many times, so I'm a realist, and it does sometimes come off as pessimism.
And
I would like to hope for the best, but
that's every once in a while, like it'll cross my mind is like I guess I would rather expect the worst than kind of have any hope for something. So then I would think about the negative side of stuff, but like I don't know, like that used to be me a lot more. I don't know what has been changing, but I've been sometimes in some areas more optimistic than I ever thought I would be.
Well, that's good.
And then I met with pessimism.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Paul. Wow, that was an irritating laugh. I hate myself for this. See, now I'm pessimistic about myself.
But back to because I didn't want to interrupt your train of thought at all. Where you were like, I say this, and then Paul comes back with,
so always got something else to say.
Part of that is just that age and experience difference. I'm a little more read because I tend to read the news a lot. I tend to engage in the news a lot on purpose. So I'm seeing both sides of things. When I say read, like READ, like I've read a bunch of the news. I've read a bunch of material books, not read like RED.
I was like, why are you red? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm learned. I'm read.
I'm learned. Educated.
Yeah. So that is one of those things, that's just one of the things that sometimes you get with age.
Yeah. And I guess I suppose that's probably more of a personal thing for me then, because it's like, because I haven't put myself in those situations where either I pay attention to some stuff more or educate myself on stuff more, I just get more frustrated. Like, why don't I just know these things?
Yeah.
And I always have to hear it from somebody else. And now I'm just like, and then
90% of the stuff I listen to while I'm at work is news.
Whoa. I can't do it.
And commentary on the news. So I'm getting it, and the commentary I don't know how you say it. The person I listen to most is Tim Pool. So he's a moderate leftist guy. So I'm not even listening to anything that I necessarily would seek out, being that more conservative side. It's that moderate. So I'm getting all of his things and all that. So it helps me understand a lot more. But yeah, that's just me going off on that tangent. Anything else, Mr. Johnson, before we let Brewer
Just
boil
take a
you?
shot at it. Yeah.
Since he said he's going to boil you,
Boil me. Test me.
he thinks you're a crab or something, crawfish.
Crab Rangoon.
I'm just like
I'm not
acting
ready
like this
for
to get a
this.
reaction out of the kid, and he's giving me the reaction. Okay, so one thing that bugs me about you, okay, you haven't done this recently,
I'll give you.
but it's when you're invited to something, let's say, and like I said, you haven't done this recently, but maybe like, hey, Aaron, you want to do this? Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Aaron, you want to do this? Yeah. As it gets closer and closer, yeah. Aaron, you really want to do this?
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it'd be cool. I need to know, Aaron, are you going or not? I just say no, kid.
That's hard.
I mean, it's like, it was one of those things. I think the last time you did it was
It was the 28th. Well, it was leading up to the 28th.
Oh,
for
I
Amy's birthday.
don't know. I mean, I could tell you were like,
I-
good to go, but
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't 100% sure with how you were responding.
Yeah,
But I think the other big time was the cruise, because we had invited you to come on the West Plate family cruise.
Yeah. What was going on with that? Yeah, but I remember because Amy gave me a deadline of either when I had to say yes or no. So I did say yes or no before the deadline, but yeah, all the way on up.
We were
I was
so
just like,
unsure.
yes. And I was like, but and then I
Then
wish I could
Puerto
remember.
Rico.
I wish I could remember what turned me off about it, but I don't remember.
You could have been there to sabotage his proposal.
See, I already did. I almost did that. Well, they made me think I almost did that.
I think something. I think that may have been about the time that you decided that you needed to be tighter on your budget.
To buy the drum set?
You know what? I don't really want to talk about this anymore.
Maybe that was. Yeah, no, that actually.
No.
Well, I do remember money played a portion into it. So whether or not you
Yeah, it did.
decided to start really grounding yourself on your income and not relying on other things. Another one would be when we're trying to plan something and your go-to phrase is, I don't care.
Oh, as in like as to what we do.
Yeah. Like I'll be sitting there and I'm like, no, Aaron, I'm asking, what do you want to do?
When was the last time that happened?
It's been a while too.
Oh, okay.
You've just been boring recently.
Oh, okay.
Paul was
That
just
hurt.
like, wow.
No. Not going, wow. We're going,
I'm boring.
we're going, man, he's going to have fun with kids.
I'll probably have more come to my head later.
But we need it now.
Okay, Paul.
Go for it.
Okay, now you're doing it.
I'm not going to do it.
Go for it.
He has a knife in his hand.
Here, I'll give the knife to Aaron.
I don't trust Aaron any more with the knife than you.
I got
Now he has two. It means there's a 50 chance that one's going to fly out of his hand.
Look at that.
There.
Look at that. They're down and safe and nothing to be afraid of.
They're not going to just magically jump up and kill you.
I don't have mind powers.
I mean, if a rock can get rolled away from a cave and an earthquake can happen, and I wouldn't be surprised. Those things could hop up.
I was wondering where this was going. That was going real quick. Anyways,
so Paul. All right. So I kind of fall in the lines with Aaron on one, to where like we say something and then
Oh, you're
it's like
copying me.
before the wind dies down, you come in with a hurricane of knowledge, and you're just like, and I'm just like, geez, I thought I had some knowledge here. But then I think the other thing that'll bug me sometimes is when you'll say something and it's like you are older, but the way that it will come out, and you might not even know this, and the way that it comes out, it's like the response that we had, it's like less of a response than what you have. That makes sense.
I'm kind of lost.
I'm 100% lost.
So it's like the way it's the way that you'll interject it, and like I said, you might not even notice it because you're just like, oh, I got this good piece of information. I want him to know. It's hard to explain it.
We take it in a wrong way.
No, it's almost like how should I put it?
I
Don't know.
It's like me telling Aaron something that's new. Okay. Thomas new. Let's say this.
It's like if we think it's something new, but it's like old news to him. Just
not quite, but it's like so. It's like here. Let's say the Pixel 5 just came out, and they're claiming something about it, and I'm telling you about it. Okay, and then Paul comes in and goes, "Actually, no, this is what it really is." It's like the way that you'll bring it forth. It's like your response is superior to whatever.
I'm above all of you peasants. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I guess you could put it like that.
Okay.
That's the realist in me.
That's the realist in me.
Just trying to deflate that balloon of
It could
something.
be this.
No,
it's not.
I just say, and then the other one that Aaron mentioned that I agree with him on is
Don't just copy me now.
no, I'm not.
See, this is one thing that irritates me about you, Josh. You just copy me, okay? First the truck, and then the guitar, and then the motorcycle, and then I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm not. I'm wondering what Paul's holding back now.
Anyways,
Yes.
But then the other one is where it's almost like things are made of a bigger deal.
Wait, what?
Like we'll approach it and we'll see it as simple, and then Paul comes in and goes, "Let me read this scroll of instructions and how-tos to complete this various little simple task."
Just because I have been blessed with the scroll and you haven't doesn't mean anything.
The Elder Scroll.
There you go.
But no, it's like what was it? I'll say this one.
Okay.
When I mentioned the whole video thing, and we were at the table doing videos, we were at the table, and then we were at dinner, and you're like, oh no, it's there's so much more. There's so much more to it. You got to do this.
Yeah.
Next page. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, I can't tell if he's trying to make it sound more complicated than he is, so I don't attempt it, or if he's actually being serious.
Oh, no, I was being 100% serious.
Yeah.
Still am
But
serious
it
about it.
doesn't sound, and for an amateur to attempt it, it's like, don't need to probably do half that. But yeah. It's just like something that we'll approach at a simple, 3-angle view. You dive into it with a 20 different sided view,
Okay.
Yeah. Microscopes and everything.
I'm going to challenge you on that one.
Oh.
I want you to go ahead and go do the research on how to do a multi-angle camera view without a dedicated TriCaster.
I'd say
That's costly.
I was going to say, the other response is, just simply, you got to have some software. You got to pay a lot for the software, and you got to have a lot of time. That's the other response too.
Well, yeah.
Instead of speaking computer language. And then I just look at Aaron, and I'm just like, I can't tell if this is German or French or
To be fair, if you try to
Arabic.
if you try to look that up anywhere, guess what? It's not going to be in simple language. It's going to be, this is how you do it. This is the interfaces you'll need. And TriCaster is like, goodness, it's a few $1,000s piece of hardware.
Got
It's
this.
a dedicated video switcher.
A what?
Video switcher.
Video switcher. So it just.
So like it has like the various camera inputs, and you'd say that one, now that one, now that one, and you need an operator, but whatever.
Isn't that pretty much what they do at like sports games? Like every camera is like told to pin on something, and then the operator chooses to switch between the different cameras at the various times. of the game and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that?
Yeah.
It was like at the August Burns Red concert.
Yeah. You know, just kind of costly. Continue the wonderfulness. And again, there is a reason for me asking this. Okay. So I'm not just doing this to
Get us all flustered and stuff.
Yeah. And notice how I start with the negative before the positive.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that too. Anyways, Mr. Brewer,
This is where his words kill me.
the
From
calendar app
Oh no.
should be your best friend.
There
But-
goes my left leg.
But I already talked about that earlier, and how that's something that I know that as you get older, you'll grow into a little bit more. Hopefully.
I'll have so much more stuff I'll have to be putting down.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully I get busier.
Well, no. I'm saying hopefully you learn how to use a calendar.
Oh, I mean, I do. I got stuff in the calendar. Although at the end-
It's great to have stuff in the calendar, but if you're not using it to schedule things, then that's
Yeah.
second thing. Scheduling.
Isn't that one the same?
No, it's not one and the same. So calendar is where you use it in the calendar to kind of like keep things in mind in that. But if something's already on the schedule and you need to reschedule something, that happens. Okay, you need to reschedule stuff, but be considerate of our people as well. 2 days beforehand, kind of late notice on things. Just a little thing. But again, this is something that I foresee as you get older, you'll probably get better at, just because that's just something that happens with over time. You know, you learn how to do that better, especially now that you're going to be getting married and have a family. Definitely something that you'll have to be able to budget your time better with, especially if you have to start doing like, you know, kid talent shows and that. You know, when you got to go to the Triplets talent show.
Triplets.
What?
Just thinking about Josh with triplets.
Yeah, I know. They all look
I'm
like
thinking about
Amy.
you babysitting them.
No. That's in your family that babysits triplets. That's not our job.
I have to babysit my nephews and niece.
Okay.
Actually, I don't do that yet, but
I'll let Aaron babysit them
No.
next.
because I'll let him play August Burns Red to him.
We'll talk
Okay.
about that in the future.
Yeah. This one is more recent. You start a conversation on text. I respond, and then you don't respond for hours later.
Oh. Well, okay.
Now, I could see if you're in the middle of something, okay? Like if you're in the middle of a wedding, I get that.
Or that, or
I'm talking.
that, or work.
Yeah, or work. Yeah, because if you're at work and you're just doing a quick thing in your lunch break, but if I know it's a day where you're not at work or you're not at a wedding.
I guess the thing with me on the, because I feel you on that one. It's, I guess the only time it gets me is if we'll all talk in the group chat, but then you won't see any like that person respond in the group chat. But outside of that, when you're just texting, then they'll respond to you, but they ignore the one chat.
Yeah.
That part that gets
and
me.
so I'm fine with
More
it.
than-
Like, you know, if it's in a group chat or whatever, it's when the person that doesn't respond is the one who initiates the conversation.
Well,
But
I suppose.
hey,
I don't know. That's something I would like to do more of, is get away from the phone, I guess, to a point. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to start a conversation.
yeah. Tangent derailment.
Tangent derailment. Hey, you guys have been doing your share recently. I will say that. I'm proud of you.
The last show I edited, I cut out an hour 10 of Josh tangent derailment.
So you're telling me you did an hour of no cutting of you or Aaron?
Oh, no. Because you tangentized us Obviously, some of us got cut too, but you started us down this tangent path, and I'm just like,
at least that wasn't a
the
tangent.
derailment.
In my defense, you choose to respond.
In my defense,
That is fair enough.
I want this for the future, for other stuff.
What?
His tangent derailments. I want that audio for something else.
So what's next, Paul?
Johnson!
Oh, okay. I'm gonna sit here and look at pretty instruments.
He was more excited to talk about you than he was me.
No, I'm being very kind right now.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to be negative.
Yeah. So he's holding back on you. He thinks you're fragile.
No,
I
I
am
held
fragile.
back on him. Brewer.
Oh, no. Then you got to come back at me.
No.
No.
Next.
Nope. Because we all know what happens when that happens.
Sanzera.
Mr. Johnson.
Oh no.
To be fair,
It was nice knowing you, Aaron.
to be fair, and this is fair about Brewer as well, because a lot of it revolves around, well, the recording stuff now. You know,
Okay. Wait, what? I don't know. What are you talking about?
exactly. I
Yeah,
understand
I feel you on
that's a catchphrase of yours.
Yeah, it's
Well,
really
not
bad.
a catchphrase, a crutch word,
Yeah,
crutch phrase.
that goes back to when obviously just like, I think I was called out on it in like 5th grade,
Yeah.
where whenever a teacher or somebody would call on me, my first initial reaction would be like, I don't know. It'd be either be that or it'd be like,
Not sure.
and then I'd get into it. I'm just like,
Gotcha.
it's like, come on, Aaron, you don't have to, don't let that be your first. Boop.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that well. So I don't know, being one. It just, yeah,
Yeah.
that's one.
The other thing that sometimes I'm like, I just have to sit there and shake my head for. Trying to have a serious conversation sometimes, and then you interject a troll, and you carry it on for the longest time. I'm just like, seriously, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fine. I get it. We all have to do our own thing once in a while.
I've never noticed him do that before.
Really?
You haven't?
No,
Really?
That was me trolling there.
Oh.
As I say,
See, he is like me.
well,
I'm kidding.
yeah.
To a point.
But like I said, most of the stuff nowadays is around the recording stuff with the various things. So
Right.
it's like, he does this crap and annoys me sometimes.
I'm so sorry.
No, but that's okay.
Is
Yeah,
it though?
again, these are things that I see for both of you guys that are eventually things that I can see you growing out of.
Hopefully.
These are not things that are permanent to you. Yes, they're like that right now, but I can see that changing eventually.
Right.
But
What else? Oh no, he's really about to dig deep.
am I?
I don't know.
No,
just
I'm not.
guessing.
No, I'm
Okay. You dig as deep as you want.
Oh, I would, but I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I'm not going to is I really, and both of those things, the things I said to both of you guys are pretty much it. There's not a ton of crap that you guys do that drives me nuts. Now, Josh, more than you, I will give you that. So, but I think that's also because you're further along on the maturity level now than Josh, which really throws me for a loop because a year ago or so, I would have said the complete opposite. That Josh was further along in the maturity level than you, and now I have to flip it and say you are.
Stop giving me that one, Josh.
But
he's
But-
he's shook.
there is, I'm afraid, I just remembered one thing, and I can't believe I forgot it.
Uh-oh. Is that one of them?
No.
Okay. Okay.
How much money do you spend on drum sets that you're buying because it was played by someone, or guitars just because it was played by someone from a band you like?
I'm actually saving money though on those.
How are you saving money?
It's actually not as expensive as it would be getting it brand new.
You're like a woman who goes and shops and says, I saved 50%.
I say it would have been this much, but I only spent this much.
Yeah.
No, I do get that.
Because sometimes I just have to look and be like, really, dude? What are you doing?
Seeing the more and more, well, especially after all of this getting into the whole Bible study stuff.
Yeah.
And all that jazz. Objects aren't worth much anymore. To get that whole outlook on it. And like, yeah, it's cool, but
it doesn't have those.
Need it. And it's not gonna be something I can take on with me.
Yep.
Later. And if I ever got anywhere in music, I could buy a different kit if needed.
Okay.
But yeah. All right. Yeah,
so,
I feel yeah.
Sometimes I just look at him like, really, dude? Really? Do you need that?
No.
You don't. You want it. Yeah. Again, this is something I think that as you mature, you're learning more of.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not like you're in your 30s and you're doing this.
I'm getting close.
Yeah, you're not.
Well, I'm
25.
24.
You're not even 25. Yeah. Nah. So, anyways, the reason I wanted to start with the negatives.
Yes, why do we start?
Because normally people are like, when you do this sort of stuff like this, you start with the positives.
Yeah.
I'd
rather end on a happy note than start on a happy note and end on a bad note.
Yeah. But the reason I asked the negatives is, okay, so you have these negatives, right? You have these things that kind of clash with each other, with our personalities on what we like, what we spend our money on, what we devote our time to, our lack of being able to be scheduled or organized, or chips on the floor, because apparently that's an issue with you, Mr. Johnson.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, that's my nephews more than anything.
Anyways,
I love them though.
Even with all of that going on, with all those clashes, I do things that Josh doesn't like. Josh does things that you don't like, and vice versa. It's a triangle of hatred. Going on with things that we all do that we do not like, that all of us do, and all that. Mm-hmm. But yet somehow through that, what are maybe some of the lessons you learned on how to be a better friend by you putting up with the things that you mentioned about Josh that irritate you a little bit, or that irritate me, or that I do that irritate you? How's that helped you to grow as a person to be a better friend overall? Not just to Josh, but I'm talking overall.
Yeah. You pick up on things that, well, I guess if they irritate you, it could very well irritate someone else. So then more conscious of, if I do that to somebody else, I'm like, oh, wait, I don't like this. Why am I doing it to them? Kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing, I guess, for me, is just realizing if that irritates me so much, then this is probably something I shouldn't do to somebody else when I'm interacting with them, if I want to be friends with them.
Right. Fair enough. I'd also interject and say it's also something to look at as a growth area too. Not so much that, I just do this to annoy so-and-so, but okay, I know I'm using Josh thing here as an example, but I'm not picking on Josh. Okay, need to use the calendar more to schedule out things, so that way we're not readjusting things on the fly 2 days beforehand. Okay, that's a goal then. That's something that we can see and benchmark against and say, okay, am I doing better this week than I was the last, couple weeks or whatever? Because you can say, oh, okay, I'm not having to reschedule all these things because I wasn't checking my calendar before saying, yeah, I'd like to do that. You, Mr. Johnson, when Drew brought up about the whole, saying, yeah, I'd like to do this. And then it just dies off over time. how do you, that one's a little harder to categorize, but it's also then something that you can be brought to your attention, look at and be like, okay, I do this. How do I?
Mm-hmm. And going into that, one of the worst things, I was telling this to Nico when we were talking about getting like a home or the townhouse. One of the worst things to give me is time on something, about doing something.
Yep.
Because the more time I have, I think about it so much more. And then I start to think, see, that pessimist comes out of me. And I start thinking about, well, there's this and this and this and this that wouldn't be as good as opposed to doing this. And then so that happens even for plans. It's like, okay, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. First thought, because then that's the only thing I have planned for that day. But then as time goes on and more things, this one can be one thing that happens, but where more options come up, I'm like, that would be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really fun. I don't know if I want to do that one anymore. But then I guess also depending on what that is and if I have time to get out of it, that'll be the big deciding factor of whether I do be like, no. But no, yes, don't give me time.
I learned that lesson.
But then also time does help grow and learn and mature, which I'm slowly maybe getting there.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, man. That is a good thing to see that it's happening over time. Everyone kind of matures at that different rate.
Right.
What about you, Mr. Brewer? How has dealing with all of our crap made you better, worse?
For better or worse, till death do us part.
Apparently worse because my maturity level has gone down.
Doesn't mean it hasn't gone down.
I didn't say it went down. He's just surpassed you a little bit, which really surprised me.
I really need explanation on that. No offense. It's helped me kind of like question whether I'm over exaggerating on things. I've had to grow more patient because I know that sometimes the initial reaction I might have is not a proper response of the situation. And so that is also where it would cause me to have to walk away. And I think in a sense, it has also helped me kind of get over that hump of talking to people on things. So it's like if there's an issue, I like to get it addressed with. And that's something I didn't used to do. I would sit there and complain and fuss about it. And it's brought me to a point where it's like, I'll see where it goes. So I'll evaluate the situation. I'll figure if I'm overreacting or not. And if I don't know if I'm overreacting, I'll kind of try to get myself to forget about it. And I'll move on to the next step and see if the next time that something happens, whether or not it makes me feel the same way. And then the next time it happens and I feel the same way, then it's kind of like, okay, now I have to address the fact is, am I just that petty or is there something that I should bring to the attention? And so it's our friendships in the various areas that we've had issues in. It's kind of, I even think it's actually helped me with things at work. I try to address things right away. I try not to allow things to, when the pot's full, I try to drain it. I don't want it to spill over. That's what I try to do. Because there's less of a mess if you allow it to spill over. Might have some splashing, but splashing is okay. Flooding is not good. So I don't know. It's just something I kind of noticed. I've just seen myself become more proactive on issues. Have I always? No, there are still some times, and I'm not proactive on an issue. But generally speaking, I think, because there's really no other guys that I talk to more than you two.
When you reply to our text messages, but yeah.
Or in person.
I'm playing with you, Mr. Brewer.
I know. So, in a sense, if there's anybody that it affects the way that I work with people, it's you two.
Uh-oh.
In a good way.
Yeah.
One would hope.
Well, yeah, right.
So,
Mr. Johnson,
What?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
You're just like, okay. Okay.
Send it.
I will send it. So here's my question. Still relating back to these things. Okay. You know, even though we've had various things back and forth through the years, you know, you've said what friendship has kind of taught you on that. What would you say has probably been some of the highs of friendships? It doesn't have to be between us, you know, like me, you, and like, what are some of those highs that you're like, if I wasn't friends with person X, this thing would never have happened. You know, what are those opportunities that came about because either things you learned by being friends with people, or it's just, you know, because sometimes they say it's the people you know, not what you know,
right?
Which is really true.
That is a big thing. Oh boy. Well, I mean, obviously, without any friends, there would be I would know a lot less than I do right now, which is kind of scary to think about when I don't really know that much. I feel like now it is anyways. But I mean, I guess there's obviously just all those, like, you can learn, have shared new experiences with different things. One being pho. Oh man, if it weren't for Larissa and stuff, I would have never heard, or well, I can't say I never would have heard of it, but like I wouldn't have been introduced to it as soon as I was, had I not been friends with them.
Right.
That's one small thing. So I mean, yeah, being introduced to new things, whether that be something I love, food, well, and music. That's one thing with Nico too. Like, he has brought me into a bunch of different types of like music and cool artists and stuff like that. Oh boy. One big thing is, and this would be more so between you and Josh. I mean, there's also several other people in my life,
right?
Know, just like opening up to them and being able to share, whether it be hard, difficult information with each other, and, you know, have that relationship where you build each other up and try and encourage one another and correct us on, well, one another on what we're doing, and hopefully getting them on a good path. Well, there's that. I guess there's always tons of learning opportunities and friendships.
Yeah.
And one for me, being able to open up to you guys and whoever else I've opened up to in the past. Without that, I mean, one, I could be a much more difficult person, I feel like, than I am now. If I didn't have, or at least if I didn't take those chances to open myself up to anybody, I mean, yeah, I would still be more isolated and just wanting to be separated from everybody, not have those kind of friendships, I guess. What other cool things are there about friends? I guess just spending time with each other is awesome. Playing games, just relaxing, being able to relax, have fun, and enjoy similar interests among others. And then going, like, learning more. Well, gosh, everything is learning with friendships. Holy crap.
Yeah.
For me, at least. Gosh, I don't know. Yeah. What?
No,
I thought you were putting it
because I have a follow-up question.
Oh, yeah. Do your follow-up question.
Do my follow-up question? Because you mentioned something in there that caught my attention, even though I was playing with my phone there. So I was listening 100%. Yeah. I was just posting something to the social media. You mentioned about how one of the things you learned was kind of that opening up thing. How I guess difficult was that to learn that portion? Because you couldn't. I'll say this for me. Okay, I'm not going to talk for you, but I'll speak for me. You know, that can't be done unless it's in an environment of trust where you have a relationship. And that's not something that just grows overnight.
No. Yeah. No. Yeah, I guess it depends with me. I feel like it might not necessarily take me a long time to be able to open up to somebody. And it all depends on how serious the thing is that we're talking about. Crap.
No, fair enough.
The question kind of left my brain already.
Well, while you're thinking about that,
Yeah.
Mr. Brewer.
Well, say.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember. So you were saying like,
like you literally forgot the question.
yeah, like I just started going somewhere else, and now I'm totally blanking.
What I was commenting on and maybe trying to direct with you a little bit more is, where you talked about how you learn to kind of open up more.
Yes.
And not just kind of say what's going on, but say what's really, really going on behind the scenes that maybe everyone doesn't see. And I'll say,
what did it take for that to happen?
how does that look like in Mr. Johnson's world with friendship? Because like I said, for me, that's not something that just happens. That takes time and a deep interpersonal relationship.
It definitely takes time. I guess the biggest thing for me is to see how open you're willing to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like one thing, like when depending on the person, it's like, obviously I don't expect people to like obviously open up with just about anything to me. Would I be happy if they would? Yes. Cause but obviously it's like for some people, you don't know if they're going to be like, they'll hear some information, then somewhere else it'll leak out to other people. And that's a huge, so I understand why people wouldn't open up obviously right away. You got to get to really start talking to someone first. But just if I see someone being willing to open up to me a little bit, that just makes it all the more, I guess, of an option for me being more open and trusting other people to talk to about certain stuff. But it's also been very good to start opening up, because once I started opening up, it became a lot easier for me to open up to other people and just about other things in general, about what's going on or what happens in my life. And being able to do that has been great, I guess, for me for the most part, until you have someone that's just like out there to ruin your life and be like, oh, did you hear about this? Well, he's disgusting. Which thankfully I haven't really had happen to me at all much. I mean, there's been stuff in the past that have been stupid little like school drama junk.
Oh yeah, but school drama is a whole separate category.
Yeah. So I mean, where it comes down to really like, you see someone having a hard time with somebody, or you see someone having a hard time with something. Like I haven't had anybody shoot me down because of stuff I've done in my past, which I'm very thankful for. But yeah, being able to open up is a huge growing opportunity as just a person, and learning how, just seeing that more people actually are struggling with the same thing that you do struggle with is also very encouraging, and also helps me open up more to see that some people are like, oh, you have a problem with that? Well, yeah, me too, actually. It's like, oh, I'm not as, I guess you could say, unique as I thought I was.
No, none of us are unique in that department.
Yeah.
So I have a follow-up question, but I'm going to ask it to Mr. Brewer.
Okay.
To see, because he's over there cracking his knuckles and looking at web pages and getting ready and all that. So Mr. Johnson, Mr. Aaron over here was just talking about opening up and everything like that. My question to you is, what maybe advice do you have, Mr. Brewer, for like, maybe there's some, like you're trying to be a friend, you want to try to open up, but and you just like, I don't, like you want to, but you don't want to, if that makes sense.
Open up or?
Yeah. Because friendships are built on a certain level of knowing each other. There's that surface level friendship that happens when you just meet each other. You just meet each other in kindergarten, like you and Mr. Johnson did. Oh, let's go and be friends and play games. But as you've gotten older, that friendship has deepened up. How do you take a friendship that goes from that surface level and take it to the deeper friendship?
How do I?
Yeah.
And the advice to give to Aaron on that.
Anyone, not just
anyone.
Yeah. because it's not, Aaron's not a unique animal where, well,
I need special instructions.
in ways he is, but yeah.
Ouch.
Aaron's very unique.
Yeah, but beyond the uniqueness of Aaron, like you just made friends with someone new, and how do you go from beyond that surface level friendship to the next level?
You got to get comfortable with them. You got to understand more about them, learn what they like, what they don't like, and that kind of comes into play with things on a personal level too. You know, like are there certain things that they're just not comfortable with? Because in order for for you to get closer to somebody, you have to understand what makes them uncomfortable. Because if you're always in an uncomfortable situation with them, or you put them in an uncomfortable situation, it's going to be much harder for you to get closer with that person. Beyond past, to the point of where Aaron can open up.
Right.
So for example, one of the things is, and I learned this from Paul, and Paul probably learned this because you and him kind of, tick the same, as well as Paul's been around a lot longer. And he told me a way to handle you. And
Nice.
and this is something, and this is also something that you kind of need to rely on other people too, in order to get closer to the people, is because we're humans, we're imperfect, we're stupid, we're dumb, we can't see things right in front of our eyes. So one of the things is Aaron, when it comes to issues or things he wants to talk about, he's not like a banana where you can just peel back the skin and voila,
I'm like
there's
an
what you're
onion.
looking for.
I'm an onion. Gotta peel back
Yes,
the layers.
you are an onion. You have layers.
Just like Shrek.
And
No, go on. I'm just thinking of Whose Line Is It Anyway skit.
and so one of the things I've always was confused about is I'd ask you a question and I just couldn't understand why you couldn't answer it right away.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I still don't understand why you can't answer some questions right away. Especially when it comes to like dealing with things, or you might not really want to be in a talking mood, but you just don't go about addressing it like let's say a normal conversation. Like, hey, dude, I don't want to talk right now. You just kind of brush it off. Again, it's one of your issues where you just can't say no, even when you really want to say it. And Paul told me to get you to talk, I pop the question and I leave it.
Yeah.
And that's
I
something
thought
I've
I've
never
told that to you before.
You probably have, but Paul had told me that. And it's one of those times where he made us sit down in a room and talk to each other. And that's when you conveyed it to me after he had conveyed it to me. So you're looking at probably about a month or 2 month distance.
Right.
You were just letting stuff build up inside you, and I had some things I wanted answers on. And you weren't getting back. Yeah, you weren't getting back to me fast enough, and it was irritating me because to me it was like I just wanted to fix the situation. I didn't want there to be a wedge, and you could simply act as if there was no wedge at all.
Yeah, it could be.
And that's one of the things. Oh, that's what something that drives me insane is when you act like there's no issue and there's totally an issue.
An issue.
So that's one thing, and that's where you got to rely on other people to get closer to someone else, because you sometimes just don't get the cues right in front of you, and it's not necessarily your fault or the other person's fault. It's just how you tick.
Yeah.
So-
So one thing is also, I mean, you have to take a chance and I guess kind of put yourself out there a little bit and take a bit of a risk almost, as when you used to talk about relying on somebody else to trust, learn that you can trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you start small, and as you build on that, building trust and whatnot with that person, then you can deepen that friendship and hopefully end up having a really good close friendship. Obviously, then there's always those situations where people will always let each other down at some point, here in one way, here in another. Wow, I don't know what I just said there.
I let them down or disappoint.
But also then seeing how they react afterwards, especially if you make it known to them that you did something to them or hurt them, seeing how they react after that also is a big thing that you should pay attention to. because depending on how they react should be a good signal. Is like, okay, yes, they're a good friend, or it's like, not worth somebody investing more time into, at least at that moment,
Right.
putting any energy, unless obviously some people can take longer to make corrections and, just show you that they are worthy of, I guess, being a friend, or they can be a good friend to you. Some people can take longer or just aren't there yet, but in time, maybe they will be. So I know, taking chances and taking a risk to build trust with somebody is also part of being able to have a deep
I'd say
friendship.
the biggest thing is you need to be able to talk to each other. And I'm not talking over text, because text is the worst way to do it. And there's no better two people that understand that. I'd say better three, because Paul's had his moments too, but it's been more of me and Aaron.
Let's say, have you seen how I spell on text?
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, I curse technology when it comes to dealing with issues, because the emotion is completely pulled out of it. And it's exaggerated, but there's a Key and Peele skit on YouTube about texting. The one guy is chilling on his couch, and the other guy is sitting there thinking he's responding with attitude, and he's getting all flustered at his house. While the other guy is just like, all right, cool, let's hang out tonight. Let's go at it. And the other guy's like, oh, he wants to fight. Like I said, exaggerated, but that happens all the time, because you can't tell, and the way that your brain is going to feed it to you is it's going to put the person in your head saying that in a rude way. And the last thing you want in a friendship is for someone to be misread, and then the other person just assumes and carries it on as if it's real. So that's where you got to be able to sit down. And of course, in society, everything is done over technology. You don't have to look at somebody. And I feel like so many people are growing up and they can't deal with someone else getting angry at them across the table, because they're so used to not having that when they do have that interaction in person, they just melt down. They can't handle it. And they have to, hate to say this, go to this safe zone.
Safe space.
They have to go to
Safe
safe
space.
Yep.
Well, at Gateway, they called it zones.
Yeah. The colleges and the universities that they have that safe zones. They also have free speech zones. So,
which is really interesting, because free speech is everywhere.
Technically.
Private university can control speech technically and legally on their campus, but it's a whole other conversation. I find it interesting, though, Mr. Johnson, that you brought up something that's a good point, that it takes time with those little incremental things. I think back, with you, it wasn't a deep dive immediately into things. It was, how was your week? How are you healing up? Because this was right after your motorcycle accident. How's all this going for you? How, that was the conversation. That's what started it all. And then eventually it slowly transitioned into deeper things. It wasn't first time meeting you. What is your biggest sin? Tell me.
So what are you really struggling with?
It wasn't
right
that, it wasn't how many times a day are you watching porn? That wasn't my first question to you. It was, hey, would you like some barbacoa?
No.
and then your dad force feeding it to you.
This is delicious.
And to Josh's point about that interaction, text is convenient, but yes, you do lose that emotional capability. And people, I've noticed, have lost the ability to, like, when having a conversation, look other people in the eye, even, which Apple apparently thinks is a case. So the new FaceTime on the new version of iOS that's coming out this fall, it automatically, using VR, adjusts your eyes to look at the center of the camera. Even if you're looking away, it uses VR to move your eyes.
That's freaky.
Yeah.
I'd say the other thing with emotion in a conversation is you learn whether or not what you're saying causes someone to feel joy or pain.
Yep.
And in a world where people will go on all sorts of harsh and hurtful and racist rants, a lot of times those people will not say that to someone's face, but they'll say it online because why? They don't have to deal with the emotional response.
Yeah.
And to them, it's I can post it, look away, never have to worry about it again. I can even delete that post. Or if you say it in person, once you say it. And now you got to deal with that emotional reaction.
I say those words are out there. You're not going to be able to pull them back.
Well, I mean, yes, you can't, but they can just kind of turn away and forget that it even happened. Now, if someone chose to
online,
bring it forth, bring it back, that's a different story. But in person, you deal with the response right away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I feel like society is going to move away from. And I think it's really going to hurt us more than anything is that lack of emotion when it comes to communicating.
And I think part of that comes from, you look at, like, I think Japan is kind of like an early indicator of where society's heading. You know, all these people that all they do all day is they play their video games and they have no social interaction. They don't know how to be friends with people. They're basically shut-ins playing a video game, living in an online virtual world. And they have, quote unquote, friends online, but when you're hearing just audio, maybe at most, you know, it's probably text chat and maybe some voice chat, you know, yeah, you can get to know a person a little bit, but you know how easy it is for them to reach over, hit a mute button, say, oh, that guy's an idiot. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and shoot that guy, you know.
Yeah. Get her done.
You know, when you're able to self-censor like that, where you're not being authentic, I think that's where the being disingenuous is. I couldn't say that word for some reason. I'm starting to talk like I text.
See, there's another problem.
My inability to talk and text.
Well, no. It'll go from texting and then it's going to turn into speech.
It'll be
We don't know
interesting
how
to
to
see what
talk.
happens when it comes to relationships because we are not meant to be, in a sense, single as in non-social. You know, we are
Right.
social beings. We are meant to deal with social interactions and emotions, regardless of what science might say to agree or disagree
No,
with that instance.
science says 100%. You need social interaction. You need friends.
There is a reason why when people go to jail, they can come back with, you know, various things because they're sometimes shut up in a cell with one other person, maybe not one person at all day. So when you get pulled away from that, you can cause anxiety and stuff when you get released back out into the world. With technology and how it's faster to do things and how I can just be in the car, I can say, okay, Google, text Aaron Johnson, what you doing later? Or text Aaron Johnson, hey, I'm about to hop on. Or, you know, it's just, before you know it, technology will be the face of everything. It's like you'll be in a box and you're surrounded by nothing but screens.
So we're going to be in the Matrix. Sick.
Or another, what's that one movie? I think it was called Surrogate.
Don't know.
With Bruce Willis, and you pretty much wake up in the morning. You pretty much don't even leave your room. You lay in a bed, and your body, okay, your senses and everything are connected to this surrogate. If this is the movie, if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, look it up. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong.
No
But
idea.
pretty much, nobody goes outside of their room in this movie. Everybody is operating a machine through the eyes, through the hands, through the feet of the machine while laying in a bed.
Okay.
That's literally they. So they work in these machines because the world became so unsafe that they had to start using machines. So people never actually had physical interactions with another human.
Yeah.
It was just kind of interesting to watch. And of course, eventually robots get destroyed and yada, yada, yada. But anyways, I don't know. I just see nothing positive coming out of technology, unfortunately.
I mean, I do and don't.
Yes and no.
But
There's something.
I see nothing positive coming out of technology.
yes and no.
Yes and no.
Well,
'Cause,
yes, as in, can it do good things? Yes. No, as in, will allow humans themselves independently to become better? No.
I'd probably disagree with that. But we can save that for another time.
I'll give you guys a tidbit of a potential another thing that we could do after this.
Okay.
I don't want to say it on the air.
Okay. And I was like, I'm like waiting for him. I'm like, da-da-da-da-da. I'll say this about friendship.
Mhm.
It's been one of the most rewarding and most frustrating things in the world.
Yeah.
So when I say frustrating, I'm not talking about the minor annoyances that you guys put me through on an almost daily basis. You know, Josh called me old like Steve. I'm at retirement age.
But wouldn't you enjoy being retired right now, Paul?
Not with my retirement fund the way it is, no.
You can hack Aaron's bank account.
I'm
That
not
wouldn't
going to
last.
go for a federal offense. I'm sorry.
Then it wouldn't last them that long.
Yeah, unless we did from your place. Then I can do it from your computer.
Okay, deal.
Then it's all traced back to you, which means you're the
Is
one
it?
going to jail for
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing about technology.
Okay.
Is we trust technology more than we trust man. Anyways, continue.
I'll say this. In my line of work, man makes so many mistakes when they build something manually that automation is the proper way to go to eliminate mistakes. So I trust the automation.
Eventually, one day you won't be saying that.
That's
Maybe.
my entire job is automation. So yes,
yeah.
I will be because I keep at the forefront of it.
one day you
But-
won't.
But
We'll take that another time.
yeah. Anyways, what I was going to say, it's the most frustrating because this sounds weird. Friends, whether what they do intentionally or not, sometimes Aaron will do something 100% unintentionally. He doesn't even realize he does something. Just maybe pisses me off or makes me angry. That's some of the most frustrating times in the world.
Yeah.
Because, and again, those are something where it's like when that happens, I have to go tell to Aaron or Josh and be like,
Rebuke me.
hey, look, this is maybe I'm taking it out of context, but this is what made me pissed off. Okay.
Mhm.
But at the same time, at the flip side of this, okay, that has been some of the best times as well. Some of the best vacation trips, weird hotels, weird with the hallway of eyeballs, some good concerts and that, good conversations. So there's the back and the forth. And I will take all the frustrations that each of you generate for me to have those positives as well.
Right.
Because those positives, in the end, greatly outweigh those negatives. And that's why I can say I can call you friends. If your negatives outweigh the positives, then I'd say I call you my enemies and go away.
Hey, you keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Just so you can stab them in the back.
Oh.
Hey, I'm just being realistic here.
It's the realist coming out.
Yeah, the realist coming out from me. But that's honestly what it is. Friendships are hard. They are work. They're not something you can just generate on the fly and then let go and be done with it.
Mm-mm.
There has to be that almost, at least between us, like constant communication, not necessarily daily. We might go a day or two where we don't communicate. I think like we didn't text at all Monday or whatever,
Mhm.
but then but there needs to be that constant flow back and forth, that give and take.
Mhm.
And that's what I've learned a lot from this whole experience with you two. There has to be that give and take. There has to be stuff that might piss me off some, but you guys really enjoy. So it's like, okay, let's do it. Just
August burns red. I'm just kidding.
no,
No.
that one, no. But there's that give and take,
Yeah.
because if you try to be in a friendship relationship and you're selfish, you're going to fail.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing a lot of is people want to be selfish and get their way. And because of that, life goes on. If I was being selfish, any little thing that either of you did, I could just say, you know what? Because I did that, I'm writing them off.
I'm out. Deuces. Sayonara.
But because I choose not to be selfish and try to be like, okay, let's make this work, I have to be humble enough at the same time to say, I know I'm doing crap that's making them a little frustrated, a little irritated, a little chafed.
Mm.
And so I have to realize there's, when Josh doesn't like being one-upped on knowledge, that's going to irritate him. What?
I don't know.
I thought he was doing a facial expression.
He was.
That's what I thought. When Aaron tries to troll and I'm trying to get a serious answer and he's just doing his thing, and
that is, yeah.
Gotta let it go, as the song says.
Let it go.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't hold that against you.
See, that I would say for that, though, that's definitely something I should work on, is being able to have a straight conversation without making something. Because, I mean, yeah, I guess I would say I use either, you could say, stupidity or trying to be funny about something just to, like, kill the, I guess, tension, or just like that awkward, like, we're being serious right now. We can't be serious right now. Gotta do something stupid to make a laugh.
And my question to you at that point is it just the awkwardness that just you're feeling, or is the other people involved feeling that awkwardness?
They could be, yeah.
Because if it's just you,
mm-hmm.
I didn't mean for this to go to a deep dive about you, Aaron. but in all seriousness, if it's just you feeling that awkwardness, and it's hard for you to know that, if that's the case. That might be just your feeling of inadequacy with your knowledge of whatever is being discussed.
Right.
And so you're like, let me find a way to take the attention off of this subject and move it to something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
just being honest there with that.
Yep.
But if it's like tension in the room where it's like palpable, like you can see it on everyone's face, then that's good to be able to break that tension then.
Break the ice a little bit.
Because then if everyone's just kind of sitting there staring at each other with a dead stare, like, uh-oh.
Something's about to explode.
A little humor can do wonders to break those things down.
Right. Then we have this kid doing whatever he's doing over here.
I call him Screen Mouth now.
Screen Mouth.
Yeah. I just look over, I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, like I said, some of the best highs, some of the worst lows come from, because being vulnerable and interacting with people sucks.
Right. It does. It can.
It really can, because we don't necessarily always like being vulnerable, because we're opening up a piece of ourselves to someone and saying, hey, you have the ability to smush what's going on right now. Do you do it or not? If someone's hurting, and saying, here's where I'm at. Here's my raw emotions on this. And if you just crap all over it, there's nothing worse in the world for that. Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, but I think that's why it's important to have friends from the get-go, from the early age of like preschool, kindergarten, and all that. Obviously your preschoolers and kindergartens, they're not going to be very deep friends. They're going to be, let's play in the sandbox together.
Yeah.
Look at my truck. That's the extent of it. But as you grow older, it's important to have those friendships that are deep, that, yeah, you can go out and do stupid stuff and have fun, but once in a while, have those deep conversations when they're needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And those are just the things that, I've been learning through the years on friendship. Any other potent lessons you've been learning on friendship through the years that you want to expound upon before we sign off?
I guess a big one is just the whole give and take. I mean, if you want a friendship to last and grow, you have to be willing to give give to the relationship and not just take. Yeah. I feel like it's been, for me, like, I guess I would say, I mean, I definitely have quite a few people that I would call friends, but it's like, do I make an effort to put anything towards some friendships? Not as much as I'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been learning, I was like, if you want something to happen with that friendship, you need to be willing to put time into it instead of just being like, oh yeah, I'll do something here and there, maybe once in a while, and then just let it go. And then, revisit it, I guess, later on. I don't know. But it's like you can't expect much of a friendship to happen out of that.
Yes.
So that's something I've been learning is, I mean, obviously they take a lot of time and effort, especially if you want that to turn into anything more than just a simple, hey, how you doing kind of friend kind of thing.
And
So, yeah.
Mr. Brewer, do you have anything? And if you talk, put the windscreen in front of you and put it the opposite direction for it so it throws the wind correctly.
I actually think it does a better job the other way.
Okay. Anyways, continue on.
Do you have anything?
Um,
Keep going, dude.
in order for relationships to be successful, you have to be willing to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. If you can't recall a rough time, or if you can't recall a time where you actually had to stay up late, maybe worrying about something, or having anxiety during the day about something with a relationship, chances are you're not in a relationship with that person.
Or not much of one, at least.
Yeah.
I'm going to say not in one.
Oh.
Because anybody can be acquaintances with somebody else. Hey, what are you doing? You want to play? All right, yeah, let's just play together because we can play together, or something. Or let's go to the movie. Just there's no real connection between you and that person. That's all I have to say. Is you got to be willing to give what is required for it to succeed.
Anything else, Mr. Brewer?
No, that's it.
Nah, that's it.
I was right.
All right. As Josh gives a look now, a death stare, as he can't.
Sassy.
Yeah, there's a sassiness in him coming out. As both Mr. Johnson and Brewer stated, relationships, friendships take time, and they take energy, and they take that give and flow. What I think is kind of bad in our current culture, and I'll just comment on this, we don't have to go crazy into this, is that you see a lot of times happening nowadays is that you can't, at least by society standards, you can't have guys that are like good friends that know what's going on without immediately them going, are they all sleeping with each other? It's ridiculous. Guys can be, this sounds weird. Guys can be intimate, like that we know what's going on and everything, but not necessarily intimate in the way that society normally will say intimate and uses that.
I 100% agree with Paul.
That's something that I think is missing in at least modern America. I'm sure it's different in other countries about, guys can be intimate as far as knowing what's going on with each other. They don't have to obviously, I know what's going on with Aaron a good chunk of the time, there's obviously going to be some stuff, when things come up, me and Aaron, whether I'm struggling with something or Aaron's struggling with something, it comes up in a conversation at some point, typically. But that doesn't mean anything beyond that is going on,
right?
And that's fine. And that's good. And that's actually probably healthy emotionally and everything else for both of us. So
absolutely.
I'm not even going to bother to ask him. Have you heard? You said you finished listening to Reapcast, the latest one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not even going to bother asking him because I know him. So his answer will be the same as always. What's Reapcast? I looked it up. It's okay, Brewer.
Good old Clay.
Yeah. So here's a promo for Reapcast if you haven't heard it in the previous 2 episodes.
What is up, everybody? Clay here from the Reapcast. We are a conversational style podcast dedicated to having conversations about today's toughest topics. Faith, religion, social issues, and pretty much you name it, we'll talk about it. But one thing I believe that sets us apart is we truly want to do so in understanding. We don't have to agree with you to understand, but we have to listen to grow. So check us out. Just search Reapcast wherever you get your podcast, and be sure to check us out on reapcast.simplecast.com.
So go ahead and check out Reapcast at everywhere you can find it. While you're checking out Reapcast, check us out as well on the websites. Leave us a review either on Simplecast or on iTunes. Both really do help out. Our main website is uiwords.com. And we got some stuff coming up here after this lovely little August break that hopefully we will be entertaining and fun. And guys, we need to start figuring out our hour.
I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, so we got that. We got to have that discussion too. But Josh, Aaron, I want to say something to both of you guys before we go out here. Why are you blushing?
I don't know, actually. I'm just preparing.
You're just preparing. Love you guys.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be that.
That image is going to haunt my dreams.